Champion versus champion. The best of the best. Survivor Series 2020. Drew McIntyre made a surprise appearance on SmackDown, called his shot, and defeated Randy Orton on the following Raw to win the WWE Championship. Roman and Drew then had an intense contract signing where Roman called Drew,
"You are the right guy in the right place at the wrong time,"
and finished with Drew begging Roman,
"Please, underestimate me."
Along the way, Jey Uso qualified for the SmackDown team in the Brand versus Brand Survivor Series match, but found himself in somewhat of a losing streak after losing to Drew and Daniel Bryan in consecutive weeks. Will the family assert its dominance against the Raw brand? It's time to rewind the Bloodline. Before we get the show kicked off, acknowledge us by smashing that subscribe button and the like button. It's the best way to support what we're doing here with the Bloodline Rewind. And we have made it to Survivor Series 2020. I was so excited for this show. So get us kicked off, Goose. We got to get running here because I can't wait to talk about this show.
Yeah, we start as we always do with the intro video. So we get a little voiceover with the Raw and SmackDown stars playing, and we're told that this is the best of the best, and they will be competing against each other. And that tagline will be repeated over and over again. AC/DC's blasting as the voiceover's hyping up the show, and we're told that the survivors will rise, but only one lives forever. Cue the gong and that sweet, sweet Undertaker video package. Tonight, witness the Phenom, witness the presence, walk with the dead man one final time, and we gong our way into the Thunderdome.
The graphic comes on. Cyberpunk 2027 brings us Survivor Series, best of the best, and more pyro than you can ever imagine goes off. I love the Thunderdome pyro. My God. It is the best way to start a show. I love it. Michael Cole tells us that we celebrate the end of an era, and for about the 30th time.
And we celebrate the best of the best.
And we're starting off hot here, man, with the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. AJ is out first with Omos. We got Cole, Corey Graves, and Samoa Joe in the booth. And I must say, man, I am an unapologetic Omos mark. I love this dude. When he came out, I was smiling ear to ear. AJ grabs the microphone, cuts a promo. He's calling himself the team captain of Raw, and then he gets cut short by Matt Riddle's music.
Keith Lee is our third man out, and he was a beast in this 2019 match, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. Cole reminds us about that appearance and how he was eliminated by Roman in that match.
It is crazy that he was the shining star on that NXT team, and here we are. So I do need to say, bad gets worse, I guess, because now here comes the Strowman Express. So Braun is tied for the most eliminations in a single Survivor Series match with 4. So we're trying to get that over, but baby.
Yeah, and Sheamus is our last competitor out, and I need to say this team for Raw, every time somebody's music hit, I just popped even harder.
Right. You did, like, it was this wonderful, wonderful mixed bag. What I loved here was the Raw shirts having the big USA logo on the back. like once the first person that had one on turned around, I laughed out loud. But I do need to say, 5 years later from this match, I would have never guessed that Sheamus would be the one on this team that was the most automatic great match guy out there. And here we are. It's wild. Every time that dude comes out, it's a true banger. And you would not have thought that with this cast of characters that we have.
Yeah, if you go back to 2020, that is not what I'm thinking of Sheamus. And he is just banger after banger after banger now. So the Usos music hits. Jey leads us out for Team SmackDown first with Paul Heyman, and he's watching backstage.
And he has the weirdest look on his face. Like, he's kind of smiling, I guess. He's like,
yeah. He's like,
it's very, very, very interesting.
He's like kind of adoring him, half not, like half
sort of concerned, maybe nervous, hungry. I don't know.
So Kevin Owens comes out next, and of course they got the big Fox branding on the back of the SmackDown shirts.
And Otis comes out bushwhacker walking, ready to rock, dude. Seth is out next. Cole tells us that he's had a rough path as of late. And I'm just like, man, it's been rough since like late summer 2019 for this guy.
Our last competitor out for SmackDown is Baron Corbin. And this team is interesting because KO is having issues with the Bloodline, and Baron Corbin was the big dog's final feud before the Bloodline. So this is a really interesting team.
Yeah, it really is. And I didn't think about that until you said that we sort of had the ending and then the new beginning sort of all rolled into one here. But how about by the time people watch this, Baron Corbin will now be known as the Nomad Bishop Dyer.
What a terrible name. Please change it. Change it, brother. So Team SmackDown enters the ring, and the two squads are face to face, separated by the ref. And Cole just says the rules are simple. You're eliminated. You head to the back of the locker room, and the bell sounds, and we're starting off with AJ Styles and Jey Uso.
Yeah, the two lock up and we're underway. Joe mentions that he loves Jay's style and his attitude change as of late. Graves says that you can't argue with results, so I like how we're getting this over. And we start with AJ just missing a drop kick by feet. Jay takes a huge bump, and Michael Cole tells us that
To a drop kick, didn't get it all.
yeah.
No kidding. So Jay takes control with some right hands. Paul is just smiling in the back. Jay misses an enziguri, and Paul's face immediately changes. It's just the little things that Paul does so well to just keep progressing this story along. It's great stuff.
Yeah, AJ kicks out after a Samoan drop. Jay tags in Corbin. Corbin and AJ go back and forth, and now Otis and Riddle are in. Riddle starts kicking Otis in the chest, which just makes him gyrate his hips every time he got hit, and I love that spot. And I have to say, dude, Otis gets over with me so easy, and he did it here. He won me right over.
So Otis tags out. Kevin Owens is in, and he's working on Riddle's bare feet.
It's about time.
So Riddle tags out, and it's Sheamus in. Seth wants a tag from Owens. Owen reluctantly does it, and now it's Seth and Sheamus in the ring.
And this is a match that I'd love to see in 2025. I can't believe it, but it's very true.
Yes, this could be a WrestleMania match, honestly.
Absolutely.
So Seth tags in, and he just kind of stands around. He looks at his team, drops to his knees, and like this, I was wondering, what are we doing here? Seth screams at Sheamus. And he opens his arms and he eats a brogue kick. Get him out of my life. I'm over him. I can't stand this Messiah gimmick. It sucks. I'm done with it.
As you said, man, it went from bad to worse because he was the most cowering, awful baby face against the Fiend. Comes back, and instead of having an edge, it is just this weirdo pseudo cult guy. And the nice part with this is that this is him leaving for childbirth. So this is the way to write him off, quote unquote. And thankfully, we are done with the Messiah. But yeah, so Seth is eliminated here. KO calls. Otis gathers the troops. Jay gives some marching orders about getting on the same page. KO says none of them work well together, but Raw doesn't either. They just got to beat them. And as they meet, of course, here comes Braun with the sprinting shoulder tackle to everyone. And at least there was no train sound playing this time.
If there would have been a train sound, oh my, you would have shut it off.
That's facts.
So later on, Otis faces off with Keith Lee, and I actually don't mind this. I personally, I can never deny a Haas fight. I'll always love them. But Lee picks up Otis in a fireman's carry, and assisted or not, like this is still really impressive.
Yeah, he handles him while he's up there. You know, he's not all shaky legs. Really cool. So KO runs wild. He comes in with stunners to everyone. He eats a phenomenal forearm for the pin, and now it's 5-on-3. Riddle eliminates Corbin, and now it's 5-on-2. Sheamus comes in, destroys Jay with the brogue kick / brogue knee. He takes Jay to the outside, drapes him across the ropes, gives him 10 beats, and now Sheamus is arguing with his team long enough to let Jay regroup. Jay comes over, hits an enziguri, and then he tags in Otis.
And Blue Collar Solid is running wild here, and I was loving every second of it. I actually really liked this part of the match.
Yeah, comeback was great here. So Otis gets eliminated by Braun. Jey starts spamming super kicks. It's 5-on-1. Jey hits the ropes, and then he hits a dive onto the whole Raw squad.
And I thought that this was great because Jey is just doing everything he can. He's going all out to stay alive. And I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, true. And he didn't want to deal with the tribal chief. Like,
Yeah.
that's sort of our underlying thing here, is that I can't screw this up again. I got to go all out.
Yeah.
So Jay's dealing super kicks to the outside. He comes back in. Braun's down in the corner. Graves tells us that if Jey doesn't come through, there will be consequences in the family. So nice job here. Braun tags out. AJ comes in. Jey hits a super kick, and Omos saves AJ from an Uso splash.
I love that you just said that, what Graves said, because that is going to be a staple of this Bloodline story, that losing has consequences. We literally see it in present day Bloodline, and we're going to get there at some point, but it just shows that if you lose, there is consequences.
Not only that, this does help the build for turning Jey later.
Yes.
Always needing to please, never being good enough.
Yes.
Little things.
Yes, little things lead to larger things in this story. AJ goes to jump in and he hits the forearm. Jey kicks the rope and AJ goes down. Jey stopping AJ with the same kick on the rope on the forearm was very clever, considering that's how he just beat him a few weeks back. So for the finish, Jey goes for the Uso splash, but it's reversed by Styles. Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm, and Jey kicks the rope, super kicks AJ, hits the Uso splash, and wins the match.
That's a good little pull there. So Keith Lee hits a blind tag. Jey Uso is going for the Uso splash onto a prone AJ. He jumps. Keith Lee catches him, spins him around, hits the spear bomb, and wins.
And this is just where I hated everything about this. Was so mad here because I hated the way that Keith Lee got the blind tag and the win. It felt like it had to come down to Jey and AJ, but this time AJ getting the upper hand, and to see the fallout for what will be for Jey and Roman for fighting hard but coming up just short. I felt like they had the story right there in front of them, and they didn't pull the trigger on it. I don't know what the booking idea behind this was, but I hated it. Hated all of it.
Yeah, and especially with the build being best of the best. And I do suppose that you just want to go to Jey being a total letdown here, but I agree with you, man. Seeing the drama, giving Jey a run, letting him get at least maybe a couple of eliminations would have been nice, but that was not in the cards. So Paul's face watching this as Jey gets pinned is literally the same as mine while that's going on. Like, I'm just so awestruck by what I'm seeing. There were some bright spots here, but at the end of the day, man, this was 34 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back.
Yeah, you're right about that.
We move forward in the show. Bobby Lashley beats the Liberator with the hurt lock. Sammy complained about it. Someday, Sammy. Someday. We go to the back. Jay's talking to Jimmy. Paul opens the door. And, dude, Paul exhales so hard.
Oh, there we go.
So Jimmy and Jey are outside of Roman's locker room. Heyman comes out, followed by Roman. Jey blamed his teammates, which he literally should. The one who literally quit turned out to be the one that turned on the Shield. So like I just like it's so mad again.
Yeah, I get it, man. And Roman says
You lost.
and Jimmy's trying to defend Jey. He's saying it's 5-on-1. Roman just dismisses Jimmy and says that Jay's staying here.
I'm a break. It was 5 against 1.
I didn't ask for you to be here.
Roman says that Jimmy lost because the team doesn't fear him. And if they don't fear you,
If they don't respect you, they don't respect me.
and if they don't respect me,
They don't respect our family.
and if you can't make them respect us,
Then you don't have a place at the table.
I like that.
I do like that. That's what every time that I get mad about what they do, and then they come back with Roman and these like Roman monologues, kind of say like the monologues, kind of like it's just like,
Right.
oh, I get it. You got me back again. And like that makes me feel for Jey, but it's like everyone that didn't cooperate in the match is all because of Roman. And Roman tells Jey to get out, find his brother, get out of the arena.
I don't have time for losers, not tonight.
Paul sells it like the other parent after the one parent is just yell at you. Like it was so good. He just
Yeah, that disappointed, like, oh, I'm disappointed kind of face. Excellent.
yes. So he just shuts the door and we're on to the next match.
And to give you a glimpse of where we are in 2020 WE outside of the Bloodline, earlier tonight, the Gobbledygooker won the 24/7 title from R-Truth. He was actually then lured away with some bird seed. I laughed out loud at that. Tozawa with the Ninja referee then won the title. And R-Truth hit him with a bag of bird seed to then re-win the title. Holy cow, this is on a pay-per-view. After the women's match, we get a plug for TLC 4 weeks from now. And next up, the head of the table and Drew will face off.
We get the video package with Drew winning the title versus Randy Orton on Raw after Adam Pearce changed it to a no-holds-bar match mid-match. Drew's voiceover,
I am the man now.
and I will prove it at Survivor Series. We cut to the contract signing that we covered last week on the show. So if you are new here to the Bloodline Rewind, go back and check out last week's episode. This gives you the full build into this. It's featuring
You are the right guy in the right place at the wrong time.
and Drew telling Roman, please underestimate me.
It's all good stuff. Roman's music hits first, and Roman comes out looking like $1,000,000, belt in hand and Heyman at his side. Graves tells us we're about to see an epic battle. Roman raises the belt. The pyro hits. Roman is laser focused. Paul is uber confident. This is a great scene.
Yeah, and this felt like a big fight in a world where it's literally hard to cultivate that with video screens and fake crowds. This match felt like there were real stakes. Like this truly felt best of the best.
Yeah, it had aura to it. Joe does a great job here. He says,
Roman Reigns now is a much more domineering Roman Reigns.
with Paul Heyman, he's more efficient, more vicious, more dedicated. And having Joe here actually really helps get over Roman more. And I like that. Graves puts over that Roman doesn't take anyone lightly, and he reiterates what Joe just said about him. Joe then tells us that Drew's coming for the head of the table, and he's got to do so with all things blazing.
Cole reminds us that
Drew McIntyre has never defeated
Roman, and Cole quotes Roman by telling Drew that Drew is the guy they call when Roman is busy. So the sword unsheaths. Drew's music hits. Drew comes out with old Bessie or whatever he named that sword. He sticks it in the ground and he makes his way to the ring as the pyro is going off.
So we're reminded that Drew was pinned and eliminated by Roman in a traditional Survivor Series match, and Drew's run then started by eliminating Roman in the Rumble. Good on you, commentary, because this provides a lot of context that's really helpful for this match buildup. It really is, and these are great callbacks.
It is. And in present day, Drew McIntyre literally just posted that picture of him at that Royal Rumble when he eliminated Roman, calling Roman out. So this is still present day, still a thing.
Great stuff. So Cole reminds us that this is a massive main event, the two men at the top of their respective brands. He also reminds us that these two men must be cognizant of The Miz, who holds the money in the bank. He said that, dude, and I got the heebie-jeebies. I got nervous.
So the two men face off in the middle. They're holding their belts high. And Joe says so much can be said with a gaze. And there's a lot of conversation going on right now. We ring the bell. The two start circling the ring, locking eyes. And I have to say, like, this stare down was intense. I love that these guys are really selling and they're trying to prove who's better.
Yeah, Joe says Drew's only chance to win is overwhelming violent force. Graves says that Roman will have to be ruthless to win, and we'll need the Roman we've seen recently, not historically. Great line there. The two lock up. Roman takes the waist. Drew switches, and Roman breaks up with the ropes. They lock up again. Roman gets a headlock and a takedown. Drew reverses, and then he gets Reigns into a headlock of his own.
Roman throws Drew into the ropes, and Drew hits a huge shoulder tackle. Roman gets an elbow in, and Drew hits another shoulder tackle, and Roman powders. Roman makes his way back in with a little caution this time. He then kicks Drew in the gut, and he starts landing shots. Roman works Drew into the corner, steps back, and Drew now takes control. He hits a massive shot on Roman in the corner, and Roman and Drew are in the corner, and this is where things start to get wild now. Like I was really liking this.
Yeah, Drew's furious, man. He throws Roman in. He starts landing shots of his own. And this layout's great. It's basically, I'll see you and I'll raise what you're doing. And that's all we're getting is basically the mirror of one to another throughout the early part of this match. So Drew runs into the far corner. Roman's now going to get the heat by posting Drew. The two go to the outside. Roman throws Drew into the apron, and then Roman whips Drew into the steps.
And I thought Drew looked nearly unbeatable up until that point.
Yeah, no one has been able to stand blow for blow with this new Roman Reigns yet. You're right about that. So Roman brings Drew in. He hooks the leg. He gets a 2 count. Roman immediately puts Drew into a chin lock. And the Thunderdome piping and clapping to rally the baby face is really, it's a little bit too much here. Drew tries to get some momentum. Roman cuts him off, suplexes him, and he gets another 2.
So Roman is growing more frustrated as he hits Drew with rights and elbows, but he can't put him away. And Roman gets Drew in another hold, and he cuts off Drew, trying to fire up by grabbing the hair and throwing him into the mat. Roman gets another near fall after clotheslining Drew and immediately puts him into another hold. Drew powers up, and the two are trading blows in the middle of the ring. Roman hits Drew with a kick to the gut, throws Drew into the corner, and Drew starts a huge comeback, hitting 2 clotheslines, a huge belly to belly, and a swinging neck breaker. Once Drew regrouped, like this match actually felt like big again. It didn't feel like Roman was just gonna fully take over and just beat him down. It felt he was back.
It was a real comeback. It wasn't one of those quick shot, cut off. Oh, here we go again. Drew kips up, and speaking of that, the psychology, brother. We have true heel versus big time babyface. Slow, brooding, getting heat Roman. It's just strikes and holds. That's it. Nothing to make you want to cheer him. And Drew's comeback is big move, fire, emotion. Those are the things that get you behind a babyface. And the layout here is excellent. So Drew's in the corner. He's measuring Roman for a Claymore. Roman's slow to get up. Drew goes for the future shock. Roman escapes, cuts Drew off, and hits a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Now both men are on the mat. Paul's not selling it at all. He's had the same scowl on his face outside for about 10 minutes, dude.
Yes, and now Roman is up. Drew is struggling. Roman cocks for a Superman punch, but Drew evades it, and he hits a big spine buster into a roll-up for 2. Roman goes to powder. Drew follows him, and he throws him into the barricade and the post and the steps. And Drew is now firmly in control as he rolls Roman into the ring. Roman cuts Drew off with a kick to the gut, and he downs him with a right hand. Roman starts talking. He's calling Drew number 2. And Drew nails him with the Glasgow kiss.
Yeah, dude, again, Roman starts to take control. Here comes Drew with something big. The two run the ropes. Drew hits a future shock DDT for a great near fall. Joe is screaming now about Drew keeping his focus, which is a really cool callback because earlier in the match, they were saying that part of Drew's downfall is that he could be too emotional at times.
Still checks in present day as well.
Facts.
Drew measures Roman up for one more Claymore, but Roman cuts him off with a Superman punch and goes to lock in the guillotine, but Drew backs up into the turnbuckle and he hits a suplex. Drew runs at Roman again, but Roman catches him and he posts him shoulder first.
Yeah, Roman's now brooding. Drew gets up wobbly. Roman goes for the spear, but Drew catches him and rolls him into a Kimura.
Roman Reigns, spear!
Roman then gets the rope, and Drew's forced to break the hold.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Roman in this much danger of losing a match in what feels like forever.
Yeah, and it feels like true danger, not manufactured drama. This is really good. So Roman powders again. Drew runs out to attack. Roman catches him, hits a Samoan drop onto the table. We get a full "I am the table" moment. So Roman picks Drew up again, drops him again, and this time the announcer's table explodes.
And so Roman is selling on the apron as Drew is selling on the outside. Drew gets back up and Roman pounces and spears Drew through the barricade. So Roman throws Drew back in immediately, covers, and Drew kicks out at 2.
And the important part with that near fall is that he put him in the ring right away.
Yeah.
Like you thought that was it, man. Through the table, through the barricade, now it's over and big time kick out. After this kick out, dude, Drew's doing a great job. He has that 1,000-mile stare, and Roman's selling this. What's it going to take to kill this man? You know what I'm saying? I like that a lot. Roman fires up in the corner. He goes for a spear. Drew hits a front kick. Roman hits the ropes, nails another spear, and Drew kicks out at 2 again. And Michael Cole's voice may have just left the Thunderdome at this point. He was out of his mind.
For the win! McIntyre kicks out again!
It's just such a shame that this is in front of no crowd because that would have been awesome. He's talking to himself, putting Drew over, and Roman looks out to Joe and he tells Joe, Roman ooh-ahs, runs at Drew, and Drew delivers a Claymore.
Yeah, the kick bumps the ref. So while the ref's out, Jey runs down. Drew discards of him. As Drew goes to pick Roman up, Roman hits Drew with a low blow. Jey then runs in and he hits like a low blow, sort of super kickish to the nether region. He bails right away, and then Roman grabs Drew and locks in the guillotine.
And Jey running in and helping Roman was nice, but you just had to be worried about what that meant for Jey.
And did he step over the line?
Yeah, I immediately was like, oh no, what is he going to do to Jey? Because he told him. So Drew tries to power out, but Drew drops. He fades. He's out. Your winner, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and as Roman is walking out here, there is a dude in a wreck everyone and leave shirt booing and giving 2 thumbs down. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I love that. I love the thumbs down on the screens and the
Yep.
they're incredible.
In the shirt of the guy that you're booing right now. Whatever.
So Roman walks back up the ramp and Jey is crouched down waiting for him. The two are face to face. Jey is breathing heavy. Roman gives the beard a stroke. He pulls Jey in. Jey gives a yeet and he hugs Roman.
And the two stand together at the top of the aisle as Drew's Hulk Hogan breathing on the apron.
Yeah.
I went and looked. Dave gave this one 4.25 stars. And brother, I love this match. This is an easy 4.5 for me. This is the best match that I've seen since we've been rewatching these 2020 shows. John, what do you rate the match? And who's on your island of relevancy?
I equally agree. This is easy 4.5 for me. And I got to put Drew McIntyre as a legit contender on the island of relevancy this week. He came to play, and this match was incredible. You're right. This is the best match we've seen so far.
And co-sign because he stays there. As you said, brother, he's still there 5 years later.
Yep.
Major player.
And for the Ocean of Obscurity, what do you got for us, Goose?
I will be tossing into the Ocean Obscurity the Friday Night Messiah's sacrifice, the gimmick itself. Get it out of here, man. I hope to never see you again.
2-time nomination here on the Ocean of Obscurity. He's there forever. Can't stand it. So that is part 9. That is Survivor Series 2020. We are coming back next week with part 10. Part 10 will be the run to TLC 2020. We have 3 TVs that we're going to cover. It is not a lot of matches. We do have a Roman TV match, so got a little bit of something here to work with. This is going to be a new turn in the story, and I can't wait to get to it. So make sure that you are subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to support. Hit the like button, hit the bell notification so you know when we drop, and we're going to keep coming back to you with more and more Bloodline. With that, I'm Johnny Bake Show.
I'm Teddy Mongoose.
And we just called it in the ring.